Time for Hot Picks. Our next guest has a stock with a high dividend yield as a top pick. Joining us with more, Rob Thummel, Senior Portfolio Manager and Managing Director at Tortoise. Rob, great to have you with us today. And we've got sort of an energy theme to talk about here. But I guess when you're looking for opportunities, what goes into your thinking?
Well, if you talk to me, John, you're going to talk about energy because that's what I've done for 30 years of my career, and that's really all I've done from an investing perspective. And it's a great sector. A lot of things going on. I think it's one of the best times to be looking at investing in the energy sector, and a lot of investors are underallocated. So, well, what the great thing about the energy sector, what it offers is a lot of free cash flow, which then correlates into high dividend yields for a lot of stocks. And so investors looking for income, looking for growth, just looking in general to stocks that are going to benefit from a rising economy. And the energy sector is a good place to be.
And we obviously have lots of conversations around what's happening with the Canadian sector. But let's talk about some of the names that you like in the United States right now. Starting with Energy Transfer, arguably a large cap energy infrastructure leader. And I mentioned high dividend yields. This one has a notable one. Give us the story on ET.
That's a 7.5% dividend yield. It's going to grow the dividend 3 to 5% a year, and it's supported by a significant amount of cash flow. And the company operates this vast, massive energy infrastructure network. It's really irreplaceable. If you think about trying to replace that network of assets, it's nearly impossible. And so it's got a big economic moat. And so, and then it's got the growth component too. As the U.S. continues to be the largest energy producer in the world, the largest energy exporter in the world, a lot of those volumes will flow through the pipelines that Energy Transfer operates.
Okay, great perspective on Energy Transfer. Another one that you wanted to flag for our audience is Williams Companies. You know, we've been talking so much about the growing natural gas demand, and this one would seem to feed into that story as well.
Yeah, Canada will play a role here too in terms of growing natural gas demand. So at Tortoise, the way we look at the future, you know, the energy sector is evolving. Electricity actually is really becoming the new oil, and natural gas and nuclear are going to be the fuel supply sources to generate that electricity. And so we're going to need a lot more natural gas. So a company like Williams, which operates one of the largest pipeline networks that transports natural gas, is a really important way to play this one as well. You can get a little dividend yield here. Actually, not a little. It's 4.5%, I think, or so, or maybe 4%. So there's a really good dividend yield here. There will be some growth. The other unique thing about Williams that's really not being reflected in the stock yet is Williams is getting into the AI infrastructure game as well, and so they are going to be actively building power plant electricity generation facilities to support the need for increased electricity. In this case, in Ohio, but as you probably know, and we've all learned are learning, there's a massive need for electricity all over the U.S.
Helpful context, of course, Rob. Yeah, it's something I have to watch. And then, interesting, the third name you're going to talk about, it's a really important point to highlight that a lot of companies that started as Bitcoin miners have seen opportunities beyond their traditional business. Riot Platforms is a company you've been watching. How come?
Yeah, so we recently launched a Tortoise AI infrastructure fund, and we've been looking at Riot Platforms and others like these other Bitcoin miners, not because they're Bitcoin miners, but because they have access to electricity, and the need for electricity to develop AI and for AI applications to continue to expand is significant. And so companies like Riot Platforms are actually considering transforming from a Bitcoin miner into a data center operator. And in the case of Riot Platforms, they've recently hired some executives that are familiar with building data centers, and now we will see if they go ahead and move forward and become a data center operator. We think that they will, but this will just transform their business and really transform the way that investors think about it. And so this need for AI infrastructure is growing. There's a lot of growth in AI infrastructure companies, and we capture those in our AI infrastructure fund at Tortoise.
Really great perspective, Rob. So Energy Transfer, Williams Companies, and Riot Platforms, three names that are on your watch list. Good to see you. Rob Thummel joining us from Tortoise in our Hot Picks.